is a confusing process which scientists and psychologists have attempted to understand for much of human history, yet which is still an uncharted territory. Furthermore, many professions rely heavily on memory and recall for eyewitnesses as forms of evidence. However, despite popular beliefs that eyewitness testimony is an effective way of gleaning crucial information about crimes, this is often not the case. Disregarding the fact that the human memory is a fragile function in and of itself, our memories are also highly subject to the influence of outside factors. Emotion, stress, and reinforced recall are just a few of the factors which contribute to a distorted memory of a crime or perpetrator. How can we better understand memory in an attempt to improve the interrogation process? Many psychologists and neuroscientists have asked this question and are currently aiding in building bridges between understanding the human brain and profiting from its potential. Imagine a time in your life that you have been the most stressed out, when your pulse quickens, your thoughts jumble, and your memory fails you. Unfortunately, for many victims and eyewitnesses of crimes, this is the situation they are in. On top of those emotions, being interrogated about a traumatic event often leaves the victim or witness confused and daunted, which can, in turn, lead to false identification and recall. Each of us is made up from the building blocks of individual memories. They are what create our past, our interpretation of our surroundings, and our experiences. These memories are each individually created by proteins in our brains which leave traces, which we call memories. Furthermore, there are different types of memories which serve different purposes in our everyday lives. For example, many regions of the cortex and hippocampus are involved in the processing of short-term, long-term, semantic, and episodic memory, while the cerebellum is linked with procedural memory. However, the primary type of memory we are concerned with is linked with the amygdala, the epicenter for emotional memory, emotional responses, and what is referred to as the flashbulb memory. When the eyewitness experiences a flashbulb memory, he or she becomes highly confident of his or her recollection of the perpetrator and gives a detailed description, but is less accurate in the description than someone who is not emotionally affected. This poses a threat in the courtroom because, according to research, jurors often side more favorably with witnesses who are confident in their testimonies, when in fact, confidence is not directly correlated with accuracy. According to recent research, there have been over 2,000 false convictions in the past 23 years. Furthermore, since DNA testing first freed innocent prisoners in 1989, over 73% of all overturned convictions have been due to eyewitness misidentification. When questioned by law enforcement officers immediately following a crime, or when questioned by a lawyer in court, eyewitness memory is often unknowingly altered as a result of a combination of confusing information given to them with actual memory of the event. Furthermore, a common argument among jurors is that confidence levels in eyewitness testimony aided in their ultimate verdicts. And surprisingly, there has been little to no effort to educate the legal system on the downfalls of memory and confidence. Experts in the field of neuroscience and behavioral psychology know of these downfalls involving eyewitness testimony and continue to speak out and warn against possible faulty recall. Professor of Law and Psychology and leading expert in eyewitness testimony Elizabeth Loftus has said that the biggest problem our courts face is that of persuasive questioning, which can lead to the witness truly believing his or her false memory. One question which still arises is why it has taken so long to implement changes. Loftus, along with other professionals in the field, are suggesting actions be taken toward combating the problems testimony faces. Implementation of the double-blind system, in which interrogating officers are not aware of the suspect, and therefore have a less likely chance of persuading eyewitnesses one way or another, is slowly taking root in the U.S. Furthermore, mandated recordings of all interrogations can be beneficial when searching back through evidence and when weighing potential faulty recall. Educating police officers, judges, and juries on the potential faults of eyewitness testimony could be the first step toward closing the gaps in the confusing puzzle that is the interrogation process. But for now, the old saying holds true: don't believe everything you hear.